Yo, what's up, Team ImSikovit's Patrick, and welcome to episode 5 of my Road to Completionist Cape series. If you want to check out some of the other episodes, the link to a playlist with all the episodes in it is in the description below. So, you guys have probably been wondering where I've been. Simply put, real life stuff just got in the way. I've been going to the gym trying to gain weight and stuff. I put on about 19 pounds in 14 weeks. That's just a rough estimate because I'm not exactly sure what I started at or even when I really started, and that's 19 pounds total, which means it could include water weight and body fat. I just have to clarify that because I know there's a lot of critics and fitness experts out there on the internet. But yeah, I've been going to the gym and counting my calories and all that stuff, which takes up quite a bit of time. I've also just been working. There's some people out there that seem to think YouTube is my job, or that I make a lot of money off of this for some reason. Like, for example, I haven't really been making videos, obviously, but I do get to play RuneScape sometimes, and when I do get to play RuneScape, I try to stream, which the link to my Twitch channel is in the description, by the way, and the stream has a donate button under it. Now, I don't really expect people to donate. It happens every once in a while, and when it does, I'm very grateful for it, and when it doesn't, it's whatever. I don't really care. It's not like I rely on this, but some guy came into the stream once asking why I have a donate button when I make money off ad revenue on my videos, which I do, but it's not a lot. Like, this has always been a hobby and something I've done for fun, so it's not like I mind, but that's still a dumb comment because it's not a lot. If you want to know how much I make, it's about like $400 a month, which isn't anything, and each quest guide probably takes about 4 to 10 hours to make. Sometimes 15 to 20 if the quest is really long. So I probably make significantly less than minimum wage off these videos. So yeah, I do have an actual job. If I made a little more off YouTube, I could lay off a bit on the work and focus more on YouTube, but as of right now, that's not happening because I am a 22-year-old adult. I need my actual job. And that's also why I tend to go like MIA so often. Like, I just don't have the time for it. But yeah, I try to get back into YouTube every once in a while, including right now. Even when I don't play that much, I try to do some of my dailies. I don't do dailies like I used to because I used to do like every single one that would help me when I was going for my max cape. But since I'm maxed in everything except invention and don't really have time, I only do a few. There's really only been one that I do consistently, which is the Mask of Gloom or Helmet of Darkness, which is the Slayer mask or helmet for Dark Beast. So once a day, I could go to a Slayer master wearing this mask or helmet, and they'll give me the option to get a Dark Beast as a task. Dark Beasts are not amazing XP, but I mean, it's decent money as well. But the part that I love the most about them is that the task is almost completely AFKable. I have Revolution turned on, so my basic abilities are automatically activated. I got a Bone Crusher and Demon Horn necklace. The Bone Crusher automatically buries the bones, and when the bones are buried, the Demon Horn necklace will regenerate prayer points. So even without prayer renewals or whatever, I still have unlimited prayer points. The prayers I have on are Deflect Magic and Anguish, which is the level 95 range boosting prayer. Deflect Magic actually prevents most of the damage and is much better to use in this case than Soul Split. But your HP does, it goes down over time. You can either just pick up a few sharks they drop or have a Vampirism aura activated. So now you pretty much have unlimited HP as well. I got a Charming Imp to pick up all the charms, of course. I also got a few other items, which before I name them, I must say I did not know anything about these items until people were telling me about it in my streams. So the first item is a legendary pet, which can be bought from the Solomon store. They have a bunch of abilities, they have a bunch of abilities, but you can only choose to use certain ones at a time, which I think it depends on like which stage of growth that it's in. Like, there's a baby version, whatever it is in the middle, and then there's an adult version. You can pick 1 to 3 abilities depending on what stage it's in. But yeah, they have a bunch of abilities. I don't remember most of them, but I recall there being only like 3 good ones anyways. which are three that I use. One is that it can pick up certain items, and you have options to select what category items you want to pick up. It doesn't pick up every single item that it should, but it still does pretty well. It can also act as a beast of burden, which is a familiar that can hold items if you use a beast of burden pouch on it. The amount of time that it lasts and the amount of items that it can hold is respective to whatever pouch you used on it. And the last ability, it basically acts as a ring of life, but it only can activate once every 2 hours, so don't get too crazy. When I was told about this, I knew nothing about it, but people were telling me to get it, especially since certain ones were discounted at the time. I spent like $10 on some rune coins and bought this legendary pet. I checked the pet tab or whatever that it was in to find out that I already had one, and it was already an adult, which turns out apparently I got this from some promotion a while back. Like, I didn't even pay for that one, so the one that I did pay for, that was a waste of $10. But you know what, whatever. There were also these things they're selling in the Solomon store that speeds up the growth of your pet. Good thing I didn't buy those. I also have a spring cleaner, which I'm not that impressed by. Like, people kept telling me to use it. Not impressed at all. I'm probably going to get rid of it as soon as I use up all the charges that I already have on it. Basically, what the spring cleaner does is that it helps you save a bit of inventory space by breaking down certain items and sending the raw materials to the bank. Like, you'll turn bars into like the respective ores it takes to make them and whatever. But the thing is, to get charges, you have to use these things called springs, which are expensive, like 4K each. And sometimes the raw materials are cheaper than the item, and even the raw materials are more expensive is usually not by that much more. You can select what items you want to break down, but even so, you lose so much of your profit from the price of the charges. So that's mainly why I don't like it. I also have aggression potions, which are potions that make monsters around you within a certain radius aggressive. So this combined with auto retaliate and revolution, my guy pretty much attacks everything and kills them fairly quickly. Here's a random clip of me getting 107 Slayer, by the way, and another one of me getting 30 mil Slayer XP. The 107 Slayer is a virtual level, of course, and I think I've talked about this in previous episodes, but I'll briefly talk about it again. Apparently, they're increasing the real max Slayer level to 120, and they're going to make that a Completionist Cape requirement in about September of this year, I believe. So I'm going to include my Slayer progress as part of the series. Actually would have trained Slayer regardless, just because, like, that's how I level my invention. I actually started putting all my bonus XP stuff that I get from treasure hunter keys or whatever into Slayer instead of invention. Before I did invention because it was the only skill that wasn't maxed, and I wanted at least my max cape back ASAP. But then I realized invention was a much faster skill than Slayer anyways, and it turns out the fight kiln capes are better than the max cape. So as cool as a max cape may look, not really all that interested anymore. But anyways, on to current Completionist Cape requirements. So there are 3 types of shadow creatures that can be found in Prif, and they each drop different shadow cores respective to what type of shadow they are. There is a Completionist Cape requirement where I have to deposit 15 of each core into this rift, and I only killed these when I got them as a Slayer task for the sake of efficiency, which is why it took me until now to actually finish it, even though it's really easy. Actually, it's easy, but it's not as straightforward as you may think. You can also get shadow cores from the agility course here, which I had a few because if you remember, in episode 2 back, I completed another Completionist Cape requirement where I had to complete 200 laps of that agility course. I later found out that those shadow cores don't count, and they all have to come from directly killing them. On top of that, I was supposed to talk to this guy before depositing them, and I had to select certain chat options to get to a certain point in the conversation, but it was so confusing because the conversation was just like all over the place. I didn't even really understand what chat options to pick, so I just kept doing it until I selected all of them. But anyways, on top of that, when you deposit the cores into a rift, you have a chance of getting items. One of these items is something called a light core, which is untradeable, and they aren't used for much anyways, so I use it to make a light creature pouch and its respective scrolls, which are called enlightenment scrolls. I think you can just buy the pouch and scrolls, but whatever. Basically, the Completionist Cape requirement is that you have to summon the creature, activate a scroll, which will make you enlightened. And I say that with air quotes, by the way, because I don't think being enlightened actually does anything. But anyways, you talk to Lord Amlod while enlightened, and that's the requirement. Another requirement I finally got is I killed 1,000 Gadaran elves. Now, it's not like this actually takes a long time, but you know, once again, for sake of efficiency, I only killed these when I was on task, since I needed Slayer XP anyways, and I also get to use my Slayer Helm, which increases my damage, so I had to get this task about 6 to 8 times before I finally finished this requirement. And the last thing I want to talk about, well, I mean, not really talk about, but like, you can just see it. I got some invention levels. I went from 83 to 88 invention. And yeah, that is going to be the end of that episode. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, remember to like, favorite, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to check out some of the other episodes, the link to a playlist with all the episodes in it is in the description below. There might even be newer episodes out depending on when you're watching this. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.